Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. Today, we're going to be talking about some new items that I noticed as I was walking around Harbor Freight over the weekend. We went around, my daughter and I, on a Sunday, and I didn't get a chance to really do too much looking. I think it was on Friday. So I decided to go in there and kind of look around a little bit more thoroughly. This is what I saw. So right away, I saw the 3-ton jacks. They came in different colors, and from my understanding, they have a lot extra and better support as far as their welds went. They had an improved parts washer that was in gray. Not like the red one. It looked like it had a special spot for smaller nuts and bolts and then a bigger tray to clean stuff up. It just looked better than the red one, I think, with the gray, and it's supposed to be there's some improvements that were done to it. So I'd be curious to know how well that worked out for whoever has bought it. Let's see, the U.S. General single drawer service cart. So I've now used this cart for a little over 1 week. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this cart. It rolls nice. I haven't had a need to put anything in the drawer. It's not mine. It belongs to Ron's Automotive, but no one was using it. They said I could use it for as long as I wanted to because the guys that were there, they already had their own. So I've been using it as a service cart and throwing in my stuff. It's been phenomenal. It's worked great. The thing's like brand new, but it's just what an item to have. When you need one, you need one. And it was perfect because I didn't have one. So I've been using it and I've been loving it. The Daytona wheel dolly. 1,300 pound support. So these things do come in handy, especially if you get a vehicle that gets towed in. Especially them Dodges, right? With the ball joints that snap and everything. Especially them Jeeps. I've seen Liberties where ball joints have snapped. There's something about this ball joint thing between the mid to late 90s that occurs. And when they give out, they just drop. And the whole thing comes down to the ground. So these things are very handy if you're trying to dolly it around and try to move it around. I would say try them out. Let me know what you think. If you own them, do you use them? Do you use them in a shop atmosphere or for DIY use? The Braun magnetic mini lights that look like the snap-on ones. I do believe they're USB chargeable. Don't quote me, but they're made by Braun. They come in 4 different colors. I saw red, blue, green, and yellow. So if you guys have a service cart in those colors, it would match. I did look at their cherry pickers. The cherry pickers look to be a little bit newer. I think it was a Daytona. Not like the Pittsburgh one that I had from way early on. But I can tell you that they're still doing the same exact thing that almost everybody else is, for the exception of a few companies. And I will say, if they wanted to make a Gen 3 or Gen 4 cherry picker, the best thing they can do is to try to put a pivot link on the chain. So that way, in case you chain it up and you start to jack the engine up, that it doesn't swing over in a different direction that you don't want it to, and you can just pivot it into position. So I would recommend some kind of pivoting access for the chain and hook. So that's an improvement that I haven't seen Harbor Freight do yet. I've seen a few other companies do it. I would like it if Harbor Freight could do something with that. You guys can let everyone know down in the comments, but I do believe a pivoting access point for their cherry picker would be very beneficial to the automotive or DIY tech. The Chicago electric welding car, I do believe everyone has seen this at one point in time, but it got me to thinking there's not much price difference between that and the little tiny stationary couple of shelf one that I have. But if you don't have a large need for a service cart like the 5-drawer, you wanted to save a few bucks, you can get yourself the Chicago electric one. It should hold most of your welding accessories that you have at home. So I had thought about possibly getting one of those later in time. Taking some welding stuff and putting it in those little drawers, and then just getting rid of the little carts that I had them on. But for right now, we're tight on cash. They're going to sit where they are. But food for thought. Might be an upgrade later on. Okay, last and certainly not least, we'll go to Harbor Freight again this next weekend when we have a little bit of time. We're getting ready to go to the park or whatever. And I'll swing in there and kind of peruse around a little bit more and see what other kind of goodies I can drum up. the Hercules cordless ratchets. I get a chance to look at these. The long reach head looked pretty freaking amazing, not gonna lie. The only one that I had tried was the Chicago Electric. Was it the XT? No, the Earthquake. It was the Earthquake XT. I did not like it. It did not do what it said it needed to do. I would be curious to trying out the Hercules cordless ratchets and just see how much more I like them versus like the Snap-on or the Matco that I used to have or the Milwaukee that I used to have. I still have my Hercules charging port, the heat gun, and my drop light and stuff like that. I just found them most recently. I'll probably take them back to work, but I would be curious to know just how well the cordless ratchets perform in comparison. Is there a grease point on the head that you can lubricate the internal gear so that way it doesn't wear out prematurely? You know, a couple of little questions and answers that I need to get done still, but these are things in my head is like, how well will it hold up? And can you lubricate it? And how's the battery charge time? Batteries are pretty duty. I feel like it adds a little weight to the tool, but it is at the back handle, which you really don't have a lot of spacing issues when you're using it. Even the little Snap-on one or the Milwaukee, I've never ran into a spacing issue. I always had plenty of space at the very bottom of the tool. So I feel like the Hercules having a battery that shoves in, that's a little bit bulkier than some of the other ones, I don't feel like that's going to be that much of a contributing factor. You'll have to let me know what your thoughts and opinions are down in the comments. That's all I got for this video. Smash the thumbs up if you like today's video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I'll go into Harbor Freight and I'll check out some of the items that you want me to review. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers and deuces.